Yeah, what up, what up, what up? Justin here. So a lot of people were asking me about this baby behind me, which is the Kaabo Wolf Warrior X Pro. It's my new means of getting about town. I really enjoy it. So I've talked about the scooter a little bit, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail on it per se. But what I do want to talk to you guys about are these new tires I just recently got. So there's been a lot of hype around the electric scooter PEV community regarding the PMT tires. So I finally was able to pick up a pair from a company called Wired Rides. First, and this is like literally my first reaction, first impressions, just from riding them. Absolutely amazing. They're really like, it's kind of hard to describe them. I'm really blown away by them. I'm really impressed with just the ride. It's kind of hard to put it in words, like the difference, but you notice an immediate difference between your stock tires and the PMTs. Like I wasn't sure, I wasn't really that sold on like, oh, they're gonna be so different, like everyone, just kind of like everyone has been saying, just because I had no experience with them, didn't really know what to expect. And I can say like firsthand that they're legit. They really, you notice the difference like right away. Just, I would say like the ride quality. So the biggest thing that I can explain like the difference to kind of just, I guess, make it a little easier to understand. When you ride, it feels like you're kind of like floating. You kind of get that experience just riding electric scooters like as it is, especially the high performance ones, like, some of the ones, the newer models now that are coming out. But it's different. It's like everything, like little bumps and stuff, they're just, you don't really notice them as much. And you just kind of glide. It's weird. It almost feels like something is wrong. I guess because I'm so used to riding with, the standard stock tires that come with it, which, now I've been informed by a lot of people in the community that the stock tires are a mix of rubber and like this polyurethane, like plastic deal. So it's not 100% rubber tire, so you don't necessarily get as much grip. Your ride isn't as smooth, and it's just, just noticeable differences. And so getting a chance to actually ride with these and feeling these, you notice the difference. And it's weird at first, I will say. I have put a little over, I've put close to like 1,300 miles on my scooter with stock tires. And just, those standard ones that come with it, your standard 10x3s that you can order directly from wherever you purchase your scooter. And that is primarily what they're selling. So these tires they're a bit more expensive. They're a lot harder to come by because they're made in Italy, I believe. So you have to get them imported in. But luckily, like I said, I'll share my link, the company that I got mine from, which is called Wired Rides, but it's not spelled, your traditional wired way. So I had to tag you. It's like WYRDS, something like that. But it's an interesting way of spelling. But the thing I love, I ordered my tires last Tuesday or Wednesday, and I got them Friday. So they ship in like really quick, and they're just great. But I wanted to really like just get a feel for the tires. So once I felt comfortable with them, just kind of easing in, you know what I mean? I went and did some like high speed runs or full speed or whatever. And oh gosh, it's like you don't feel like you're going that speed. Like with the stock tires, and you go to your max speed on here, because I'm on the Kaabo Wolf Warrior X Pro, so my max speed that I'm technically able to hit on there, I get about 41, 42, 43 miles an hour, on average, is like my top speed. So before, it would feel like you're going every bit of that high end, that top end on your speed. And it gets a little nervous. Like the thing I do enjoy about the Kaabo, I don't feel like I need a a steering dampener or anything like that. It's a pretty stable scooter. But what I can and I will say is on those stock tires, you feel when you're going that fast. It just feels like it. So that's, you know, the best way that I can describe just the difference in the ride quality is if you have any experience driving a performance vehicle or at least riding in one, you know, like a BMW or a Mercedes or Porsche, anything like high end, and you come from like a Kia, which is like my daily driver, it is a noticeable difference just how smooth it is. You know, I still running completely stock suspension, you know, from factory, haven't made any adjustments, changes, anything like that to the scooter whatsoever. The only thing that I've done different are those tires. And you're just smooth, you just kind of coast, and you're just like, it's just a subtle, it's you know, like I said, the best way that I can describe just the feeling and just the overall experience on them, you just feel like you're gliding over the road. For me, the big thing is just being able to go that speed, you know, and feel comfortable about it, you know. Like I said, the Wolf Warrior, in my opinion, is already stable enough to where you don't necessarily need a stable steering dampener. I don't deal with any like crazy wobbles or anything like that on my setup, but I definitely would notice beforehand. I noticed how, you know, just like, you know, the wheel chatter, I would say, like, you know, when you're going that speed, you know, those speeds with the my stock tires, like I just, you know, definitely would notice like, okay, yeah, I'm up there in speed. This baby, now, like I would switch over, throw it in dual mode and throw it in turbo, or and I would just, you know, like ride performance mode, and I would just ride, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm hitting over 40. So it's substantially better. So I can say too, the grip is definitely better. Like I feel more, it's weird to say, but it's like the grip is better in the sense of I feel like I'm more on the road, if that makes any sense. And, you know, from what I've been told, just from, you know, the research that I've done and talking to other, you know, riders that have the PMT tires on their setups, they said the rubber on these, you're making more contact on the actual road and the actual pavement versus your stock tires. These are, they look like a motorcycle tire. It's the best way I can like describe it, just like the appearance, how they look and all of that jazz. But they're great, man. So I will say, you know, if you are considering purchasing these tires, first off, do some research, you know, see if, you know, you want to spend that, because they're going to run you close to 200 bucks, just being real. So that's about 100 bucks per tire. They're not quite that much, you know, but after shipping and everything, they're close. It was like 175. So, you know, give or take 85 bucks per tire, which in my opinion isn't that bad as far as with the upgrade that you're getting. So what I'm curious about, I don't really ride in rain or anything like that, but I'm curious about how it'll handle in wet conditions. You know, if the road's a little wet, like a little damp. But one thing I can say is, even just kind of doing my normal, you know, riding leans and stuff like that, you're on the road, man. Like you stick, you plan it. I want to push the limits. I like to push the limits just to see how far I'm able to actually lean, you know, before that rear end gives way. Now I feel like that's the only way to really test it out and to see what the capabilities are, because what I don't like to do is put myself in precarious situations when I'm riding and I don't know what the limitations are, the scooter, you know, or whatever vehicle I'm in, and then the situation happens and I can't get myself out. So I want to test them out some more, you know, but I did want to just do a quick video just really talking about the tires themselves and, you know, just my experiences with them so far. And I'll probably give you guys an update or something like that later down the road. But as far as just first initial reactions, they're like a chef's kiss, man. Like they're legit. You know, the hype is definitely real, but like I said, I definitely want to test them out some more, just get more comfortable with them, make sure there's, have my PSI and all that kind of stuff correct, because that's a big difference. You're not supposed to run them at the same PSI that you run your standard tires at. Your standard tires you typically keep around, I would keep around, especially like during a, warm, sunny day like it is today, I would keep them those tires around like 48, 49, 50 PSI. And I have tire pressure sensors and all that just to make sure my PSI was, maintained, because I'm still running inner tubes on here. The Kaabo Wolf Warrior, as you guys know, if you don't know, it's a split rim tire. So I have seen people go, full with the vacuum seal and vacuum sealing the tires, but the rims and all that, but I'm not doing that. I don't prefer that. I'm perfectly comfortable with inner tubes and running inner tubes. I typically keep an extra set on me. So I don't know how my experience may differ from, other people's running, inner tubes versus not. It is a little, like I said, it is a little different because you're supposed to. But so that's what I'm just trying to figure out, because the PSI, you don't want your PSI as high running the PMT tires. So I just want to get a little more acclimated with that, and just really get more comfortable with the scooter with the tires overall. But just again, off of first initial response reactions, I can 100% say that these bad boys are worth it. They're worthwhile, especially if you do enjoy going, just faster than just regular standard scooters. If you like to ride about at 30 miles and up, you'll appreciate these tires. Really, at any speed you ride, you'll appreciate the tires. But I say especially if you're a faster rider and you ride distances, these are gonna make a world of difference for you, in my opinion. It's because it's so much softer. You're not getting, in my opinion, much resistance from the road and the tires. You don't feel like you're fighting against it. It's just you're gliding. You literally, it's like riding a magic carpet, man. They're so smooth, it's unreal. Like I'm kind of drawing a blank on how to even describe the tires, because I can't think of enough analogies, that make it, really make sense. How like how smooth it are. It's almost kind of like, I was like shocked, like, oh, like really? Like, so they're different, man. They're different, definitely quality, and I definitely recommend them for sure. So if you're in there, kind of in that space where you can like, oh man, I don't know if I want to get these, I highly, highly, highly recommend them. At least try them out. You're not gonna go wrong with them. I enjoy them so far, so I'm gonna put some more miles on these babies and you guys an update down the road. Till then though, peace.